whole thing? Okay. Alright, I can start now? Okay. So, one time, sorry, one time I was at church and we're having a prayer meeting, and after we prayed, I just was full of joy, and so I just laughed for about 2 hours, and then during the 2 hours I had a vision, and in the vision I was sitting on a hill, and it's just a huge wheat field, like a harvest, and I began to laugh at the wheat, and as I began to laugh, they started to shake from side to side, and at first I thought a wind had come in from the side, but as I began to laugh, they began to shake so violently from side to side that they actually pulled themselves out from the root. So all the dirt, all the roots, everything came out, and all these wheat stalks just towards me. So that was the vision. That night I went to visit my parents, which was really cool because most of my family's not Christian. And so I went to visit them, and they asked me, can you stay the night? We never see you, da-da-da. So anyway, I stayed the night. Now I have a brother he never laughs. He's not a very happy chap. At that particular time, which kind of still, he was very anti-God, very angry at God, very hurt, just a very unhappy, broken person. And anyway, I asked if I could sleep in his bed because his room's a lot warmer, and asked if he could take the spare room. Mm-hmm. So he did. He took the spare room. I basically was really tired. It was late after the prayer meeting, so I went straight to bed and got straight in his bed. Nothing spiritual, anything like that. I just pretty much said, "Good night, Jesus," and passed out in his bed. And I woke up the next morning, probably 5 o'clock, went back to my house to get ready for work and left. Well, the next day, my mum phones me, and she says, "What did you do in your brother's bed?" And I'm like, "Oh, dear Jesus." And she started to tell me a story. Well, he snatched the phone from her, and he says to me, "What did you do to my bed?" And I'm thinking, oh, he's very fussy, so I'm thinking maybe he thinks, my feet stunk, or maybe, I don't know, maybe he thinks I dirtied the bed or something like that. And I'm like, "I didn't do anything to your bed. Why? Why?" And so he tells me this story. He says, after I left, he went back to his bed, obviously, and got inside his bed. He said when he got inside the bed, and you have to understand, he doesn't know any of the Christian terminology. He doesn't know about the oil of joy. He doesn't know anything like that. So this is coming straight out of, his heart. And so he says when he got in the bed, he said he felt like this liquid, this oil, covered his whole body. And he said, I started to laugh. And he said, I didn't know what was happening. It's, 6 o'clock in the morning, and he didn't want to wake anyone up. So he puts his hands over his mouth to try to make it stop. And you have to understand, he doesn't laugh, he's not happy, he's just a very angry person. And so he puts his hands over his mouth, and he says, he couldn't stop laughing. So he says he pulled himself out of the bed to compose himself and, get it together. He didn't really understand what's happening. He gets back into the bed, and the oil gets on him again, and he starts. And so that was what happened. And so I basically explained it to him. It was really good because, he laughed, and even from that point, just opened up to a lot more, to be able to speak into his life, to, encourage him and things like that. So, yeah, go God.